AI company Builder.ai has just filed for bankruptcy. May of 2025. They've been accused of AI washing and round tripping. What does it all mean? Let's get into it. Builder.ai just filed for bankruptcy. It's May 2025. Now, the first question that came to my mind was how many other companies out there might be doing something a little shady, inflating the value of their AI companies, maybe even doing something fraudulent, and how long is it going to be before they get found out? Let's have a closer look at what Builder.ai has been doing and why they're going under. Now, Builder.ai is a company that says that you can literally order up code just like ordering up a pizza. It's that easy. There's building blocks there, and you just simply select what you want and you can build an app very, very easily and very, very cheaply. Now, the building blocks there are supposed to be AI powered. In other words, you just define what you want, the AI goes and does all of the work for you. Sounds like a great idea, and actually, could it really work? Builder AI certainly convinced many other people that it was possible, and they even had real customers making real apps. So it did actually work. So why does Builder.ai exist? Well, there's many smaller companies out there that have great ideas but can't afford the expensive costs of hiring software developers to build their apps. The idea there is to democratize the idea of building apps. Now, if you don't know, there's millions and millions of apps available on Apple and on Google for the phones and many other platforms out there. And they are great tools for many businesses to use to help grow their businesses. So having an app can be a great tool to market or to use operationally. Being able to build an app quickly and cheaply is definitely an enabler for many smaller companies. Builder.ai was founded in London in 2016 by Sajin Duggal, and it really grew very successfully and had a peak valuation of $1.5 billion. Now, 2016 is quite early in the AI race, at least from a public perspective, where we've seen ChatGPT and Google Gemini really only been out in the last few years. So they were quite an early in with this idea of creating software with AI. Now, what's interesting about the way they operate is that they say that they have AI doing the bulk of the back work, but it's actually been found out that there were over 700 software developers creating the software. Now, I would say that, and it's been stated that, in fact, 30% of the code is still being written by AI, but I think anybody that now writes code today would claim the same. They're going to use AI tools that are available now to speed up their ability to write code and to check code and get the syntax correct, because AI is really good at transcribing code once you have the definition, but it still takes the human software developer to architect the system, fault find the system, and break it down into functions that AI can effectively help. Now, I don't think that in and of itself is a problem for Builder.ai. In fact, I think that's a great model. Have a lot of software developers and supplement that with AI and deliver the quality and the value as they describe, but don't claim that it's 100% AI. And I'm not sure that they ever actually said that, but perhaps that was the impression given by many that AI was doing all the work. Now, things started to unravel for Builder.ai. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you would think that with the advent of ChatGPT and other tools that are available, the Builder.ai would be able to thrive once it could use those kinds of tools. But there's other things going on here, namely the 700 engineers that are all on payroll in India. And if you do a quick calculation, 700 software developers in India is going to be around $25 million a year. And that has to be funded somewhere. And investors have been pouring that money in. So as it turned out, the founder and CEO stepped down in February 2025, and then it all came out exactly what was really going on. Now, the first deception is what's called AI washing, and this is where results from the AI are being washed or handled or managed or rewritten or in some ways prepared to go back to the customer. Now, this can happen in both directions. Customer requirements can come in, be prepared for AI. AI can give its results, and then it can be prepared again for the customer. This kind of washing. Now, AI washing, I think as it stands, isn't really a problem, and I think any coder would do that today. The problem is that Builder.ai declared that they didn't need human operators in the way that they did. 700 software developers, in fact. And the problem came about when Viola Credit went in, found out this was happening, and seized $37 million back from the funds that Builder.ai had, leaving nothing to pay for these staff. Now, the second form of deception is round tripping, and this is where an asset, a financial asset, is bought and sold again and again. And every time, of course, an asset is sold, there's a revenue, but of course there's an equivalent cost, but this just makes the revenue and the cost curves go up. And this looks like the company's growing really well, and a lot of startups operate that way. They have high costs with the assumption that at some point those costs are going to come down when they scale and when they reach maturity and they optimize. Of course, with this round tripping, that's not going to work, and it's fraud, it's deception, it's illegal, and it ultimately is going to take Builder.ai out of business. So the question remains, are AI startups more likely to be involved in fraud and deception? Well, I think the simple answer is no, they're not. They're just another type of startup, another base technology, and it's really up to investors and customers to vet and to do the due diligence to make sure their investments have a minimum amount of risk. Now, all startups are risky, and I think some founders and some leaders, let's call them in the field, might take the expression fake it till you make it to the extreme, where they actually use that word fake to say it's okay to lie. I don't interpret it that way. I interpret fake it till you make it to be putting on a brave face, showing the positive outcomes which are possible, but definitely not lying. Now, there are some great cases out there. There's Theranos, the blood testing company, which allegedly had fraud. There was WeWork, the so-called tech space. Allegedly there was fraud. FTX, the crypto company, allegedly there is fraud. So these exist across the spectrum, and there really isn't one consistent theme. So I don't think AI companies are any more likely to be fraudulent than non-AI companies. Now, if you enjoyed content like this, please let us know in the description down below. Hit the like button and let us know what type of videos you'd like to see next. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.